Joe talks about Joe. And now, your host, Joe Slepsky.
Hey, and welcome to Joe on Joe, the only podcast where I, Joe Slepsky, watch every episode of G.I. Joe in sequential order and comment on it, Mystery Science style, and most often with a guest. And a couple times before, I've done this with this specific guest, and I'm so happy to have him back on. He's one of the all-stars of the Joe on Joe podcast.
Yes.
He's a super Joe fan, Mr. Paul Galliano.
Yo, Joe.
Paul-
I mean, Cobra!
Yeah. I'm sorry, I should rephrase that.
Yeah.
He's a super Cobra fan. He loves
you go.
Cobra.
Yes.
Paul, welcome back to the show, man.
Dude, thanks for having me back. It's hey, 3 times the charm.
3 times
Very
always
excited.
the charm. I'm really happy to have you. You can see Paul. He's an actor, and you can see him in the show Now What? It's on Amazon.
Yep.
And they actually you just finished wrapping on season 2.
Yeah, we just wrapped on season 2. It was awesome. I feel like we upped the stakes a little bit this time. The drama's a little more intense. The comedy's a little more funny.
Love
it went to the in the right direction in all aspects. It
Cool.
was a pleasure to film and really challenge me as an actor too.
And the first season, I think, was like 6 episodes.
Yeah,
Is that
6
about it? Is the
episodes.
second season as well?
Second season's going to be 5 episodes.
Okay, great.
And but like I said, in a way, you're getting more bang for your buck because it's like we raised the stakes, as I said. And then cool thing is the network's already talking about season 3.
That's very exciting.
Yeah,
It's very exciting.
So yeah,
Yeah, so you could definitely find it. I know it's on Amazon,
Yep.
available for purchase on Amazon. And is there any
Correct.
other? Is it like on Vimeo or any other platforms? Do you know?
it's on YouTube, but it takes a subscription.
Like the subscription
you know?
wall.
Yeah. So the
it's
easiest
definitely,
thing is
it's definitely got a
Amazon.
subscription wall on it.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, you want to see some of Paul's work, which he's fantastic in, go on Amazon. And Paul, you're a friend. We were just talking before we got on the mic. You're a friend with Barry Battles, who was a
Barry
recent guest
Battles.
on the show.
Yeah, that's my homie. Like as he said, I'm the Ben Affleck to his. Oh God, what's the director of Mallrats? And
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. Yeah, I'm the Ben Affleck to his Kevin Smith. 'cause,
Totally.
You know, when Barry's working, I'm working, and thank God for that.
We like to see that. So he mentioned on his episode, he mentioned that you had a part in his movie.
Yes.
But then I forgot to ask him what that part was because I watched the movie and I got to it. Actually, dopey me. I watched it after I had him on. It's a great movie, The Baytown Outlaws.
Yes, sir.
It's really good, and that's available on Prime Streaming, Amazon Prime Streaming. That's where I
Indeed.
watched it.
Yeah.
It's so good. But I didn't see you in it. And when he mentioned you, he actually said it like as a joke. He said something like, oh, you like he's in the movie. But
I
so
am.
what are you? Are you a voiceover or something?
No, here's the thing. I am in the movie within the movie. All right.
Okay.
And if you blink, you miss me.
Okay.
So I play the cop in the Terminator parody that the guys are watching. They're in this seedy roadside bar.
And that's the bar where all the women come in?
Yep.
Okay.
So you remember they're watching TV.
I was
and then-
distracted by the women. But
Well, yeah, because they come in full force, and boy, do they wreck those guys.
yeah, they do.
But yeah, so you can hear my voice for a solid 15 seconds.
Oh, that's funny.
But you only see me for about 3.
Okay.
Because I am an actor in a film that is in Barry's movie.
Got it.
So you see me on the TV screen in that scene.
That's funny.
And I've got a fat stash, so I'm probably unrecognizable. And that was one of the things at the time. I had just I was getting bored with my standard 5 o'clock shadow look. I was like, I'm gonna grow a crazy mustache.
Oh, so it was a real stash?
It was real. It was like Mindbender style too, because I had it going down on the sides and everything.
Speaking of Mindbender,
Right?
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm gonna rewind that and look for it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. That scene had the lead biker, the lead assassin lady in that scene. If you haven't seen
Zoe.
it's Zoe, but it's also isn't one of them Serinda Swan, right? And who is now playing? She's now playing Medusa on the Inhumans show.
Really?
Yeah, she played
I don't-
Zatanna in Smallville. That's how I knew the name, because when I saw in the credits it said it had Serinda Swan in it, and I remember that name from being on Smallville.
Yeah.
And now they've cast her as Medusa.
That's
on this new
awesome.
Inhuman show that's coming out.
Well, you know what though? I'm not surprised though, because his cast is top notch. Like
so good.
everybody's working and has been working for years, and like it's really well cast.
Yeah, the one guy's on Lethal Weapon. And
Yeah,
you said the other guy's on
Clayton
Vikings.
Crawford.
Yeah, the other
Yep,
guy's on
Travis
Vikings.
Fimmel.
That's great.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great movie. So
Yeah.
Barry, when you hear this episode, you're welcome. Well, Paul. So we've had you on a couple times.
Yeah.
People, our loyal listeners know all about you. But here's something they don't know. Here's something I just started doing last week. If you were a member of the G.I. Joe or Cobra teams, I have a feeling you're going to go Cobra because of your affinity for the bad guys.
You know it.
What would your name be? What would your code name be? And what would your specialty be? This is what I'm going to start asking. What would it be, my friend?
So my position would be on Cobra, of course, and my code name would be Sack. All right, Sack. All right,
S-A-C-K or S-A-C?
SACC.
Oh, okay.
Special Assistant to Cobra Commander.
Nice.
All right, you didn't see that coming. All right,
True.
My job on the Cobra team is to kind of be his right hand man. And when he starts to go off the rails a little bit, steer him back and be like, Commander, this plan might be more, fortuitous for Cobra, or, which is an impossible task, but I would take the job.
So you are joining Cobra as Jared Kushner.
Huh? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
In the Trump administration.
Yeah. You're playing the role of Jared Kushner.
I guess so. I don't know if I'm okay with that analogy, but
You're looking to set up a back channel with the Iron Grenadiers.
I didn't even think that. But yeah, there you go. Okay, nice little.
Would you? I love it, Sack. Would you also be? Would you be responsible for making sure his face mask is shiny? And that his hood is nice.
Absolutely.
Like, hood is unrumpled. So you'd be like his
no wrinkles.
Yeah, his right hand man.
Yeah,
Like
like his best man at a wedding. Make sure that he's And
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I like that a
his
lot.
best man guidance.
How loyal do you think Cobra Commander would be to you? How long do you think it would be until like the next time they're battling and he retreats? Would he, like when they get to we only have room for one in this escape pod, and you'd be standing there and he'd be standing there and he'd be like, "I'm sorry, Sack, you got to go."
All right.
Do you think this would last long? Because I don't think it would be a long-lasting job.
I understand. I understand your point of view for sure, and it's not without reason that you think that. However, I think the commander would be loyal to me because, in the first place, I geek out over the commander so much that I would be such a loyal fanboy sycophant that. And if anything works on Cobra Commander, it's flattery.
It's true. Very true.
So I think in a way I might become in that position. I could have the opportunity to become the man behind the green curtain.
Interesting.
Because I ingratiate myself with the commander so much.
I like this.
Yeah. So
this is exciting. So Sack.
SACC.
And so that's your name, and it's also what you are.
Yeah.
So kind of like. There's like a bat, like Battle Android Trooper.
Battle Android Trooper, or dial tone maybe.
So
are
you
like
S period A period C period C period? Okay.
Yep.
I like that. Boom, done.
Yeah.
Sack.
Yeah. And it came to me as soon as you asked. I was like, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm definitely right there.
That's
next to the commander.
Fantastic. Well, Sack, we have an excellent show today.
Yes, we do.
We have a show that you specifically requested to be on. It's a really good show.
Joe, this is for me. It's easily in the top. I want to say 10, but I'm even going to go top 3 Joe episodes.
Wow.
This is one of my hands down favorite because it's so unique. It has all these creative and interesting things that you don't see in a lot of Joe episodes, but it also, in addition to that, it has everything that makes G.I. Joe G.I. Joe. All the tropes. I love it.
It's got a lot of ups and downs for sure. That's for sure.
Yes,
it's also got a great mix of older and newer Joes. I think I actually get the really strong feeling that this was a script from holdover from the first season. Because who the main characters are, like there's no new Cobras in it, but there are new Joes. So like they took this script and they said, hey, we can replace this Joe with that Joe. Here's some new Joes to come in at the end.
Yeah.
But it's still primarily a Flint Lady J, Cobra Commander, Baroness, Destro show.
Yep.
Like which is coming hot on the heels of the Serpentor saga, which Serpentor was all about all the new guys.
Yes.
So I get the feeling that that's what this was, which I think then works really well because it's a bridge to this new generation.
Yeah, and I think in season 2 there are a handful of episodes where they make use of older episodes in that way. However, the only thing I would question about that is that Dr. Mindbender has a cameo in this.
He does does he?
Yeah. He has a small cameo in it.
Does he have a speaking role?
Yep.
He does.
Yep.
All right, well, let's...
it's interesting,
I watch it.
but there's no mention or sign of Serpentor in the whole thing.
Right.
So that is...
maybe this is some kind of, like, prequel to Serpentor. Maybe this adventure took place before Serpentor.
Who knows?
This is the adventure that Mindbender was like, Cobra Commander's a fool. I have to go and create somebody to run this show because Cobra Commander's a dope.
If only Sack were there.
If only Sack were there.
To
Sack
steer him
stopped
right. That's
Sack
right.
Stop the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited.
Me too.
We're going to get into it, Paul Galliano, or as also known as Sack.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to watch last...
I should have thought that through a little more, maybe. I mean,
it's on record now, man. You own it.
Oh God! But you know what? I stand behind it because I am the special assistant to Cobra Commander.
Right, and it's not a title that anyone. It is a title that other people can take.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? Like
it is.
you're not Major Blood.
Right.
You are
it's not
currently
my name.
the special. Yeah, right. If you ever get promoted or elevated, you may take a new name. But for
That's
now,
true.
you're Sack.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. We're going to watch Last Hour to Doomsday.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, fire up those DVDs, and here we go.
Yo, Joe!
The USS Flagg. So, Paul, this is our first episode watching the new opening.
Yeah.
Which opening did you prefer? Which was your kind of favorite?
Oh, come on. Need you ask? I got to have the one where Cobra Commander's raging against the Baroness about why haven't we defeated the Joes, and then goes outside to the top of the helicarrier to take aim at Lady J with a sniper rifle. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this one, but I think I am partial to the first one. I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to like about this.
Certainly.
This one is definitely like 100% toy focused. You could own everything in this one, where the first one had the Cobra plane, which couldn't, the Cobra ship, which you couldn't own and all that. Like this was like, this opening almost worked as like a checklist of, okay, I got to get a Terrordrome. I got to get that character. Got to get that character. You know what I mean?
It does a good job. There's a lot of exposition. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Last Hour to Doomsday, written by Tom DeGeneas?
Who knows how to say that?
That's a great name. That Cobra Eel looks great.
Yeah.
That's a really good animation on that Cobra Eel.
I got to say, I think that's one of the reasons this is one of my top episodes is because I feel like the animation's pretty solid throughout as well.
It's pretty strong, yeah. We've got the Baroness. She's riding a hydrofoil solo.
Yeah.
America will be the United States of Cobra.
Okay, yeah. Cobra Commander's he's very...
See? He starts off that great enthusiasm.
He's just very robust. Very robust. And right away, we do get some of the new Joes included. We get Dial Tone, which was always a favorite. She is awfully casually chilling.
Yeah,
for what we know she's about to do. Yeah.
Well, that's she's a seasoned pro at this point, so she's
pro.
like, I can
Lady
chill,
J's
kick
a
back with my
total
legs
pro.
crossed right before we attack the Baroness.
Yes, Lady J is a total pro.
I like this as well though because it's unique, it's different. It almost has a vibe of the Joes are attacking Cobra at the beginning of this.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Well, yeah. They have a plan that they're taking the initiative on.
Yeah.
So what we got is Jay and Flint are they've grabbed Baroness's hydrofoil by a giant magnet, and Jay and Flint are dropping down on ladders to kind of, you don't exactly know why they're doing it, but obviously to stop Baroness.
You're our prisoner. No.
And this is an amazing move right here. She will not be taken prisoner.
Absolutely dives. I don't know how many feet up she is.
Yeah.
Just plunges into the ocean.
They really think she killed herself.
Yeah, well,
and Flint's fine with it. She did us a favor.
Of course, yeah, she's gone. But I like how he says she did us a favor. We don't have to worry about her escaping later because it's obviously a reference to one of the famous G.I. Joe tropes where any Cobra they capture always ends up escaping.
But they think she's dead.
Yeah. Oh, look, another famous G.I. Joe thing, impersonation.
Oh, impersonation, yep. So
Lady J's dressed up as Baroness.
Lady J dresses as Baroness.
But yeah, I don't know if the perspective on that showed us how high up she was. So maybe there was a chance that
Right.
she would have died.
But still in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's-
Well, yeah.
But there were those eels underwater, so maybe those eels could have found her. That's probably what happened. It's probably those
True.
eels, whatever they were doing under there.
That's
Those
true.
eels probably, they probably swam up at one
You're
point,
right.
and she has a homing beacon. Or
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
think it comes
You know,
up
like
later.
How Duke had the ring that had the homing beacon.
Yep.
They
yep.
gotta have something
That's
like
going
that.
way back, man. Good
Yeah.
job.
Oh, yeah.
The original miniseries, I think.
Right? So this is they go into a bunker that's very reminiscent of the Raiders of the Lost Ark Nazi bunker.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
And Flint is he's undercover in like a wetsuit, which
Yep.
he wasn't in earlier. So my question is, why wouldn't he have a Cobra outfit to just go undercover as?
Because they had the Baroness one prepared, huh?
Right, but why wouldn't it's how hard would it be to have a Cobra uniform?
You know what? That's a good point. Like they should have had it. They had if they can replicate the Baroness's uniform, why not just
I'm
a standard?
breaking down the strategies of the Joes here.
Okay.
seems short-sighted to me.
It
'Cause now
can be.
Flint's got to run around running the risk of getting killed when he could just be a soldier.
He's trying to be incognito behind
Yeah.
the scenes.
This is exciting.
Oh, I love that. The innuendo here. See me in my chambers. I have interesting hand-to-hand techniques to show you.
That's awesome. Playful little minx, you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Lady J planting one. Oh, wait a minute.
What?
They're cousins.
Oh, that's right, because of the Castle Destro.
That's
Really?
so gross.
Incest.
That's so gross. Paul.
Cobra incest.
They're cousins.
Lady J and Destro flirting it up. It's brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
Even though I'm from Alabama, I cannot condone that or encourage that. By the way, it's interesting to point out, did you see the salute that she gave the Baroness when she walked in?
No, I missed that.
It's actually very reminiscent of a Nazi salute. And this is something that I don't know if a lot of people notice, but in the comics it's there all the time, and it's in the cartoon
Is it?
several
Yeah.
times. It is reminiscent of that same salute.
Yeah.
By the way, I love that wipe of frame with the water moccasin. Like
Yeah, that
another
was cool.
like I don't know who directed this or if it comes down to crediting the storyboard artist, but this episode is so creative with stuff like that.
This is awesome too. Look at this. The Baroness, they show her. She's all haggard, but she's
Yeah.
also like missing her glasses. 'Cause
Yeah.
of course she would have lost her glasses
In
in
the
water.
ocean. Yeah.
yeah, that was really smart.
It's a
smart
great
bit of animation.
detail.
Yeah.
And her hair's all like messed up from
I was just getting ready to go to undersea base.
And this is so cool because like they get the revelation of who's under disguise, like out of their way. This is the first act.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
it's your plan's blown up.
Yeah, done. She rips it off of her. Yeah, she's
Yeah. So Flint comes flying over in a Fang. He's a big boy.
what a great helicopter.
I love the Fang.
Yeah.
And so they're making their escape.
This I gave up show business.
Was she in show business? I know it's a saying, but
I don't know.
I feel
Not
like
th-
that
I
would
don't
have been
think
a cover
so.
girl line. There's just
Right, yeah, totally
an
cover girl.
awkwardly placed stack of jet fuel
Yeah.
that they just crashed into and probably died.
With a nice big explosion. Here's another thing. I love this shot. The
That's
reflection
great.
in his eye.
Yeah.
Again, something you don't see in a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Some really interesting
This is
framework here.
the dynamics of this one. They're all like it's weighted. It's great. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Another classic Cobra
trope. Got to
thing.
go on
Yeah.
camera.
Got to go on camera and make your ultimatum. Yep.
Right.
Makes us invincible.
And here's some of the new Joes. We got
Yeah.
Leatherneck,
Mainframe, I think,
Mainframe.
right?
Yep, that's Mainframe.
Device, the vortex cone.
The Vortex Cone. I'm not enamored with the name, the Vortex Cone.
I'm not
I feel
either.
like I feel like it makes a Vortex Cone. Like the
It
you know
sure
what I mean? Like
does.
the name should have been,
Right.
But it's a cool. It's a really cool gag though.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
to
totally.
just basically you're weaponizing the ocean is what they're doing.
Absolutely.
They're basically
fantastic.
saying you can't escape the ocean, and we can turn it into a giant battering ram that will destroy
Absolutely.
your coastal cities.
Yeah, you know that thing that covers 3/4 of the earth?
Yeah.
We're weaponizing
Yeah.
it, so look out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember, 48 hours.
So
Cobra's
good.
pretty complacent.
Yeah, General
But we're
Hawk.
gonna lure him out
Yeah.
by making as much of a ruckus
That's
as
so
possible.
great.
Wetsuit, Deep Six.
I like
Our
that
mission
Duke's
will be
right
to
there by his
disarm
side.
the
Yep.
giant vortex cone, if we find it in time.
What's so funny? Okay, so let's look at the wardrobe choices. Wetsuit, whose outfit is pretty wearable. Around. Versus Deep Six, whose outfit is
I
not
know,
wearable.
right? And he's chilling.
He's the
in it.
one chill. He's the one that's not chilling. You would think wetsuit would have been in his gear, and
Right.
Deep Six would have been in the chilling outfit.
Yeah, because why do you want to wear that
That
thing?
big
like,
bulky
yeah.
like spacesuit, right?
Exactly. It's like I'm going to walk across the floor of the ocean in this thing, but I'm also going to sit in this board meeting for it within it.
Meanwhile, wetsuit, whose outfit is totally I can hang out in.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I got to put on some
Yeah,
khakis.
I got my button down.
Yeah, I got a khakis and a button down. I got a barbecue to go to later. It's gonna be chill.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Memorial Day.
Yeah. So we're going to the commercial with Lady J and Flint are alive, but they are now under duress.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Today's file card features on the G.I. Joe drill instructor, codenamed Sergeant Slaughter. His file name is classified, not only classified, but top secret classified, although they then proceed to give out his social security number. His primary military specialty is the infantry/drill instructor. His secondary military specialty is the survival trainer. His place of birth is Parris Island, South Carolina. He is a grade E7 sergeant. Just about every member of the G.I. Joe team is qualified to be a drill instructor, so it takes a special brand of heavy-duty honcho to keep him squared away. Sergeant Slaughter fits the bill the way his bullet head fits his Smokey the Bear hat. Let's face it, the man be rough and he take no guff. Okay, Roadblock must have written that. They say he cut his teeth on a bogey wheel from a patent tank and that his first words were Semper Fi. They say that when the Sarge dresses down a boot in Camp Lejeune, the trainees cringe all the way to Pendleton. Most boots would rather dive for apples in the grease trap than cross the Sarge. They say he can blow a month's pay in one night in Thule, Greenland. Of course, jarheads are prone to exaggeration. We all know it's impossible to blow a month's pay in Thule, Greenland. He was fantastic in that cheeseball way. It's definitely a dividing point of, is he a jump the shark moment or is he legitimate? I never considered him legitimate. I always considered him a gimmick, even though I think because he was real. I always thought like, well, it's a little bit of reality intruding on it. Even though I dug him, there was something about it that always took me out of the moment. Now, the Sarge came as a Milloway figure. He also came packaged with his Triple T tank. And in later years, they had all kinds. There was a bunch of different versions of them. There was, WWF figures of them. There were 5 or 6 different G.I. Joe version figures of him. He was on plates, Halloween masks, and most notably, he was the guy who did the intros into and out of the commercials for the second season of the show. Sergeant Slaughter, or if I can blow the lid off your cover, Robert Remus. We salute you.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
And it's a good point, Paul. We'd be remiss if we didn't say we're recording this on Memorial Day.
Yes, we are.
And as we're watching a military show, I think we want to give thanks and remembrance
Absolutely.
to all of our the fallen soldiers throughout
Yes.
all the 200 years of this great land. 240 years. Are we 40 years now?
Yeah, let's see, 1776.
241 years?
I can't do that kind of math that fast
Yeah,
in my head.
241 years, yeah.
But thank you for your
Thank you.
service.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
my grandfather, he served in World War II.
Yeah, I had uncles that served. One of them in Vietnam, but not a huge military family. But yeah, I had a couple of uncles that served. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you. And to all of our
Yeah.
veterans that are listening to the show, because I know we have a lot of them, thank you all very much
you.
for your service. We highly respect it. And, one of my fears in doing this show is always like, I don't want to make fun of, because
No.
I've never served. So like
Yeah.
I'll make observations about things that I sometimes have no idea about. But I hope it always comes through with like a huge respect for the service in the military.
Yes, and I think that was a special nice camera move
That's
here.
great. It's a cool camera.
Goes
Well,
up to this Dutch angle.
yeah,
and the Rattler's
Jay,
amazing.
Jay and that's a great shot. Jay
Yeah.
and Flint just escaped in disguise as the leader of a Rattler squad.
And now they have to lead the Cobra team to the secret base.
Yeah, which they have no idea where's at.
By the way, we should mention that scene where they were fighting those two guys before they stole their uniforms to get on the plane. The way it was cut, the editing, the action in that alone was it had such a filmic quality. It was like live action film editing for an action sequence. Just brilliant. Mm-hmm. Another G.I. Joe trope, by the way. You got the exploding plane with the guys parachuting out at the last minute.
Yep.
Like, this has everything.
Get us out of here! There's too many.
That's a lot of missiles coming at Lady J.
Oh, yeah.
I like that they're using that back cannon on these. I don't know that we've seen anyone shooting that on an episode before.
That's the thing. It's not
That's
common.
really
no,
cool,
but
yeah.
there is, and that was on the toy too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah, it
they
was
show
one of
her
the coolest parts of the toy.
Yeah, in there manning that turret. By the way, I think
today,
it's
fella.
particularly the episode where you had the guy that's actually in the military on as the guest. I think that you really did a good job of
thanks,
getting your
man.
point across of that, the respect and everything. So
thank
yeah,
you very
I don't
much.
think any listener would ever doubt that.
Great. Well, thank you very much. So happy Memorial Day out there.
Yeah.
Or well, we hope one day there's not a need for days like this, but until then,
Seriously.
until that far off Star Trek universe day, we'll continue to honor you guys. Mainframe is nonplussed because the giant 5 1/4 floppy disk that Lady
Yeah.
J delivered.
Oh, it is just
It's totally
beat
jacked
to
up.
hell and back. Like he's like, oh, how am I
Yeah.
going to salvage this?
Yeah.
Wild Weasel here.
Wild
showing
Weasel
up.
looking good. Yeah.
Send the strike force to intercept
The
ships.
Rattler pilot.
Absolutely. Oh, and he's
Follow that sucker
getting
deep
followed by
six.
a shark. Okay, so now, wait a minute. Now Deep Six takes his outfit
What the
off?
heck? He's actually in the shark.
Yeah, now he's in the shark,
And
and
he's-
he's wearing pajamas.
Yeah,
What
but-
is going on with
Yeah,
Deep Six?
he doesn't know, but he's going to come out in a suit later, I believe.
I think he has hypoxia. I think he is. He is
What's
like
that? I don't even
or is
know.
it narcosis? When you have the like when you're underwater too long and you get too much nitrogen in your blood or whatever, and it drives you crazy.
That
I
is
think-
beyond my
I think-
scientific knowledge.
I
I'll take
think
your
Deep
word.
Six is crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He's-
He's like, or it's like one of those like sci-fi advanced things. He's like wearing the suit, he takes off, he stores it in the shark somewhere,
Right.
and then it just like shoots him into the suit and then shoots him out of the shark.
like Star-Lord's mask in Guardians
Exactly,
of the Galaxy.
it
He
just
presses a button
done.
and he gets his suit on. He's got some issues. These are crazy outfits these guys
Yeah.
are putting on right now, right? Because
Yeah.
we've seen them in their underwater gear, and it's normally that yellow and blue outfit.
yeah, with the
Yeah, they're wearing these like green with like square like the.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
like-
it though. I mean, I like
Yeah, it's
it.
a cool look.
It's just different though. It's a different underwater look for the Joes.
And I mean, it's a cartoon for kids primarily, so obviously they keep all the Joes wear their hats. They wear all their special identifying trademark
Right.
things. Like
Right.
Flint has his beret. Lifeline later will still have his glasses and helmet on underneath because you have to be able to identify these characters easily.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what makes this show great. That's why when you lose that in any incarnation of this, like one of the comic books that they did, they lost that and they made them all really, really dressed normally for most of it.
Yeah.
It lost the appeal because it
Yeah.
was so hard to track
Who's who?
and what's what and what's going
Yeah.
on. And it's like, no. Just leave them. Like, we're fine with that. Leave them in the. That's why I really
Yeah.
like the comic that Aubrey's doing now, the Aubrey Sitterson IDW
Oh,
one.
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
They're telling kind of, it's a futuristic, but a little more real world stuff. But they're keeping them in the outfits. They're like, yeah, of course they're staying in the outfits, so
That's
you can
awesome.
tell who's who. So we got a bunch of underwater battle with bats who are great because they get cut in half and they still fight.
Yeah, they're unstoppable.
They can't defeat my android troopers.
I just was reading the most recent issue of the Larry Hama G.I. Joe, Real American Hero book, and there's a big bat battle in it. And
Awesome.
they're just all the Joe ninjas and everything just destroyed. There's just all this battle android wreckage everywhere.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's great.
just
Yeah.
laying waste.
Yeah.
That's a great scene, and I mean we see a little bit of that in here. Mm-hmm. One thing I find interesting about this episode too. Oh, look at that! See another unique thing, that split screen action.
that is pretty
Like,
cool. It's like an Ang Lee movie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like the
I
Ang
don't
Lee
know
Hulk.
that that's happened many times on a Joe episode, but I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now look at how the design of this bat. He's huge.
Oh, he is huge.
Look at
He's
that. That's
massive.
interesting.
The bat was a great toy because he had the removable arms.
Yeah.
he had
Switch
the
out parts.
pieces. Yeah, that stored in his
Yep.
backpack.
Yep.
Anything like that, anything that was like, interchangeable on a toy that small was always just so cool.
He was kind of the trap jaw.
He was
Of the Joe
Yeah,
universe,
Trap
you know?
Jaw, absolutely.
From He-Man.
So we're going to commercial with all the Joes seemingly dead
Joe will
underwater.
return after these messages.
Hey, Joe and Joe listeners, listen up. This show has been growing and growing and growing, and to help it grow even more, I'm going to have a sharing contest for the month of June. This month only. The Joe and Joe Facebook page will have a contest post pinned to the top of the page, and all you have to do to join is make a comment on the post answering the question, what is your personal favorite G.I. Joe or Cobra character? It's that easy, right? Well, here's where it gets good. The randomly selected winner will get a couple of comic books mailed to you from my own personal collection. However, for every 100 listeners that this show gains during the month of June 2017, over my previous month that I'm tracking, I will be adding another comic book to the list. The winner
will be randomly chosen on July 1st and contacted via Facebook Messenger, so be sure to like the Joe on Joe page so that I can reach out to you. But most of all, I'm enlisting you, loyal listeners, to tell all of your friends about the show. I know some of you are going to the JoeCon this month. Tell everyone you can there to listen. I'll be revealing which comic books are in the prize bag as the month progresses. But we're going to start off with the first prize, which is the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra one-shot that was distributed via the EA Games promotion. It's a rarity. Not a lot of you have, I think. So start spreading the word, and I'll be watching our download ticker. And I'll keep you updated every time we cross one of those 100 download thresholds. And thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. And yo, Joe.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
And these battle android troopers just marching on the ocean floor, which is a neat look.
Yeah, it's very cool. Nice visual. That's pretty dark too, by the way. The way he choked out Flint and Lady J by cutting off
look
their
at
air. Cobra Life.
He's reading Cobra Life.
and I love that it's something saucy too,
Something's real saucy.
he's got that laugh and then he ends with a ooh, you know.
Which is great. And it's a callback to remember when Shipwreck found up.
Yep.
And he's like, they got health insurance.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's so great.
I think they have used that before, right? The Life magazine, Cobra Life. So yeah, there's that.
I love it. I love it.
This is a great episode.
It really is. And the rhythm of it and the pacing is just different from every other episode that we normally get.
Such bravado, especially for two people who are about to become octopus chow.
Wow.
They just have a
this giant
octopus
yellow
on hand.
octopus.
Yeah.
This Sinestro created looking octopus.
I swear I'll never eat sushi again.
See, that's another, never eat sushi again, is another in a long line of awesome Lady J quips.
Absolutely. She's
so great. She's so cool she's cool under fire.
she keeps her a level head.
Which is why she's perfect with Flint.
Absolutely.
Because like Flint's, no one's cooler under fire than Flint. No one is.
Yeah, he's cool
Flint
as a
has seen
cucumber.
some stuff and been like, yeah, whatever, we got this. And Lady J is totally the same.
Totally unfazed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like though. There's it's reminiscent of Jaws too. The way she throws the canisters in the mouth of the octopus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're totally right. So the G.I. Joes survived,
These men need hospital care.
but they are in trouble.
Yeah, they're packed in there like sardines.
Yeah, they really are.
Yet.
They really are. I like the
Platform.
subtle
Looks like
tension
it's bolted from the
that
outside.
you get with Lifeline on most episodes because he's a pacifist.
I finish
You're
with
right.
you.
Yeah,
You'll wish
Dr.
the
Mindbender's cameo.
octopus Never let you go.
You're right. I forgot about that. I
Yeah.
literally watched this last night. I think I looked away for a second. But yeah, Dr. Mindbender shows up and he
And now he's gonna get a taste of the
Oh,
octopus.
that's great.
I know an exit queue when I see one.
Oh, that's hilarious. So here's what's great about that. They didn't set it up. They just said, hey, pay attention, guys, because here's Dr. Mindbender.
Yeah.
And pay attention because he's going to show up and then he's going to disappear.
Yeah.
Because it's a big world with a lot of people doing a lot of things at a lot of different times.
Absolutely.
No sense waiting any longer. Let's pay Cobra
So Leatherneck-
a little friendly visit. Come on, you
Leatherneck, the poor man, Sergeant Slaughter.
Right? Yeah. They're like, I don't know if we have it in our budget. Because I think they really stretched the budget on this episode. Maybe.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, we can't afford to bring Slaughter in on this one.
No.
Losing our defenses.
Destro, Cobra Commander, someone is sabotaging the Vortex Cone.
Yeah, see, this vortex cone is getting sabotaged by our boy
Who is
Wetsuit.
tampering with the backup systems? He won't stop the cone
Destro.
from destroying
Destro's-
the East
He's
Coast.
pretty confident that the East Coast is going to be dead. Oh,
Classic Cobra Commander.
Classic
Another classic
Cobra
move, destroy the monitor.
yeah, you see, here's how if he had Sack with him,
Oh, yeah.
he wouldn't be flipping out like this. Right now, Sack would be like, sir, well, you tell me, what would Sack be doing right now?
Yeah, I would think of the money I could have saved Cobra in monitors alone. Because, you know what? And I'd have been willing to let him, just punch me in the bicep
So
right
use
there.
you as a
Just
punching
take
bag.
it out on me, Commander. Just go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me help you here. And in the long run, I'm helping Cobra's bottom line.
Yeah, you put that on your resume.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I saved Cobra. I saved Cobra thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in TV monitors.
Easily.
And actually, well, at the time, easily hundreds of thousands of
I was
dollars.
going to say,
TVs
yeah,
weren't
it's,
cheap
it,
back
it
then.
is
Yeah.
more.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The disc was too warped to run through a
I
regular
like this
drive,
moment.
So I had to hook
He's like,
up
"You
a free
nerd."
floating head to
Yeah.
Can
Might-
it, mainframe? Give us an answer. Every
Duke might as
second
well have given him
counts.
a noogie.
Right? Yeah.
Like, shut up, nerd.
Yeah. Just can
Give
it.
me
Come
an
on. What are you
answer.
talking about?
Give me an
Talk
answer.
to me.
He had a precursor to an iPod there. Did you notice that? Oh, this is
Yeah, it was plugged the way it was plugged in. Yeah,
that's
this is
awesome. There's a
Good. Bat.
battle android trooper that's been half broken. Reached up and put its arm around Shipwreck and grabbed his leg, and someone had to blast it off him.
Watch this here too. Barry pointed out last time we watched this. It looks like a guy under there. The way they drew that.
Yeah,
And we know it's not.
right. It's supposed to be red, but it looked like a dude with dark skin.
Yeah.
And so she just like poked his carotid artery, and he's now bleeding to death. Is that
Well, or he's actually he's short circuited to death.
short-circuited to death?
Yeah, he got short circuited.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So they just told Wetsuit that he's literally in the wrong place. He's very upset about this.
And see now
Now.
he's yeah.
Correct access panel.
Now we found the correct access panel.
The cone is going to
Which-
explode.
So if I'm already going down there. I'm just taking a couple grenades and dropping them in there and blowing it up, right? Like I'm not gonna worry about finding the right like
Right,
line to
which
rip
panel,
out,
like, yeah. You know
Aren't I,
what?
once I getting in the panel, just taking a few C4s or grenades and just being like boom, boom, boom.
You're right. Again, G.I. Joe needs to rethink their strategy.
Yeah.
They need their own version of SAC.
Yeah. Deep Six needs to keep his outfit on or off, frankly. On or off, one of
Right?
the
Yeah.
two.
He can't decide.
Yeah, and they need to figure it out. That's a really cool shot, man. That explosion with all the
Yeah.
helicopters moving and the cameras moving.
Yeah, it was a lot going on
That
there.
was great. And we get a room full of captured. Oh, that's
It's a
awesome.
little joke at the end. Ha-ha.
So great.
Twist.
Got to cut the arm off Shipwreck.
Is he gonna
And
be
they're like,
See
oh,
like
no.
that? See low light? The
Yeah,
animation on that? It's
yeah.
a little
yeah,
wonky.
He didn't have his details.
Yeah.
Still got
That's
that
hilarious.
death grip on his calf. And
Oh, so good.
so good. And of course they had to, I don't know if you caught that, the Cobra trooper that Flint knocked out. He
Yeah.
picks him up and carries him to safety before they make their own escape.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Of
So-
course. Because Flint's a good guy like that.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic, man. Love it.
So I wanted to point out this actress, Lisa Marie.
Yeah, isn't she Tim Burton's ex-wife?
She might be because she is in a number of Tim Burton films.
Yeah, that's Tim
So
Burton's ex-wife.
was she the predecessor to Helena Bonham Carter?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. And
But that makes
She
sense.
played Vampira in Ed Wood and stuff. Yeah, why are you bringing her up?
The reason I bring her up is because this new opening for this season of G.I. Joe, the new opening, there's a shot of the Baroness on top of the Terrordrome where she and Destro turn around to see the Joes coming over the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
It has always reminded me of her.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I couldn't remember her name, but I was just like, that looks just like that actress. I had to look her up, but I think it's the way the nose is drawn.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
very
yeah.
unique. Beautiful actress, but
absolutely.
unique looking.
Oh, very cool. Well, Paul Galliano, thank you so much.
Thank
This was
you,
great.
man.
This
Are
was
you
great.
kidding?
I mean,
Yeah, I loved it.
You're,
Great way
you're
to
so
start
right.
Memorial
This
Day.
is such a good episode.
Really is.
I really love the break of rhythm on it. That it told it in a different way. Had all the tropes. You're 100%
Yeah.
right there. Had, like a weather dominator type weapon.
Yep.
Had a lot of different characters popping in and out. Everyone had a role to play.
Action packed.
Action packed. The animation they really made some cool animation choices.
Absolutely.
That final shot with the helicopters, where they were all over the ocean.
Yeah.
The camera was moving left. The helicopters were moving off to the right towards the sunset.
Yep,
That's a
fantastic,
complicated.
man.
It's a complicated animation move to make, I think.
Oh yeah,
Especially back
it's-
then, because you could have easily done that with just the camera in a static angle, but they chose to.
They
move
took it to the
and
next level.
It's so good. It's so good. Well, listen. So if you're a fan of Paul, you can of course find him on Now What. It's on Amazon. They just wrapped season 2. You can see season 1 right now. You can find Paul on Twitter at Paul Galliano, Galliano. And you can find him on Instagram at the Paul G.
That's me.
You can find me at Joe on Joe Pod on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And send me an email to joeonjoepod@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest on the show, we'd love to have you on. Or if you just want to send me a note and be like, this show's the best,
Which you should.
or this show's
'Cause
the
it is.
worst.
No.
But either way, we are growing every week. I'm happy to hear that because that means you guys out there, you're telling your friends. I know we got JoeCon coming up. That's coming up next week.
That's in Florida this year, right?
Yeah, it's in Florida. I'm not coming. I actually, strangely, I'll put this out there in the world. I've inquired to them about like doing advertising with the show, and they've never gotten back to me.
Wow.
So if anyone from JoeCon's listening, you missed an opportunity and reach out to me.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because I
Do it.
can't physically make the show this year, but I wanted to try to get a presence down there.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get there either.
But if
I
you
would
are
love
going to
one day.
JoeCon out there, reach out on Twitter or Facebook and or Instagram, whatever. Let me know.
Yeah.
I want on-site reporting and tell your friends when you're down there. Talk it up. Spread the good word of Joe on Joe.
Yeah, and then also we can live vicariously through you at JoeCon.
Yes, we want to see a lot of pictures. So
Please.
that's your mission. This episode, I believe, drops the week like right before JoeCon.
Awesome.
So Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
It's great
Pleasure
to see
as
you,
always.
friend. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And now you, Joe, and Joeing is half the battle.